What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Paddy Pimblett fires back at the MMA community. Ever since Paddy Pimblett's UFC debut, the MMA community has questioned his decision to gain weight between fights. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. While Pimblett's never missed weight at 155, there's been tons of talk about how his massive weight cuts may wind up impacting his chin down the line. According to him, although he enjoys eating outside of camp, he doesn't have a hard time making 155. During a recent video with El Doberden, the baddie fired back at the MMA community.
Eventually I'll move up division when I get a bit older, I think, but I don't struggle to make weight. You know what I mean? I make 155 quite easily. I just enjoy my food outside of the camp.
While talking about making weight, Pimblett fired some shots at Ilia Topuria, saying that as a true lightweight, Arman Tsarukyan is a tougher test for him. Arman is more of a proper lightweight. I think stylistically, Arman is a tougher fight than Ilia. He's more of a proper lightweight. I think he's got better grappling than Ilia. Stylistically for me, Arman is a tougher fight. Heading into the last few pay-per-view events of this year, it'll be interesting to see if Pimblett returns to action before the end of 2025, or waits to fight on one of the UFC's first Paramount cards. Magomed fires back at Alex Pereira for UFC PI situation. Yesterday, we reported that Alex Pereira, in a YouTube video, talked about how Magomed Ankalaev apparently was hiding from him at the UFC PI in a small room. Then Alex went ahead and said that Magomed is in his words, an champion. Well, Magomed saw the comments and fired back on X, writing, "This clown who I'm fighting said I'm hiding from him. I'm giving him a rematch and he should be very grateful. I whooped him for 5 rounds and I did everything I wanted to him during the fight. Let's focus on fighting and not trash talking. This guy has been knocked out 3 times in his career. I've never been knocked down. This time I'll give him his 4th knockout. End of the story. Don't talk too much one way to the tire shop after this fight." Merab's coach addresses huge concern ahead of UFC 320. Ahead of Merab Dvalishvili's fight with Cory Sandhagen next month, the champion has made it clear that he wants to get a knockout. Because of that, fans have wondered whether we may see a new champion crowned when the Octagon hits Vegas for UFC 320. During an interview with MMA Fighting this week, Dvalishvili's coach, John Wood, assured fans that nothing is changing when it comes to the champion's signature style. "We're not changing anything. Nothing changes. What he does every single day, what you see in the cage, is what he's going to continue to do. We are just adding on. We're adding layers to that. There will never be a point in time where I tell Merab, hey, go out there and knock this guy out. Just go, keep standing, don't go to the ground. That's not going to happen. That's not our style. I've seen it a million times. A wrestler gets a knockout, all of a sudden realizes, holy I can throw these things. This is easier. I could name 10 guys right off the bat that have done that have knocked somebody out, and they go and knock them out again, and all of a sudden, that's their shift in style. We're not doing that." While Merab is focused on Cory Sandhagen, the champ is still hoping to get one more title defense in before the end of this year. Garry says Leon Edwards is mentally weak. After Carlos Prates' win over Jeff Neal, he called out Leon Edwards. At the time, Garry was pretty confident that Edwards wouldn't agree to the short notice fight in Rio. Although Prates and Edwards have since been booked for a fight on the UFC 322 card at Madison Square Garden, Garry remains adamant that the former champ is teetering on the verge of retirement. During an interview with Games Hub, he explained, "I feel like Leon Edwards is on his way out and has been on his way out. When you watch the fight with Belal and you see Leon Edwards in that corner, he doesn't look like he wants to be there. His team should be there for him and say, mate, I think you've lost the love for this. I think you're done." But I don't think he has a team strong enough or vocal enough to say what needs to be said. Mentally, he's weak. I feel like his love is gone from the game and there wasn't much of a fighter in there at the first place. And I definitely don't think there's any more. I'm shocked that he agreed to fight with Carlos Prates. I think he's going to get knocked out, put unconscious, and we're never going to see Leon Edwards again. With Prates looking to move one step closer to a crack at the title, and Edwards eager to stop his free fall down the welterweight rankings, the stakes couldn't be higher heading into UFC 322. UFC updates. Ahead of this weekend's UFC Perth card, let's take a look at today's UFC updates, starting with a new addition to the UFC Rio card next month. According to reports, Simon Oliveira and Luan Lacerda will throw down on the card, with Oliveira looking to snap a 3-fight losing skid inside the octagon, and Lacerda looking to snap a 2-fight skid. With both fighters winless inside the octagon, the loser may wind up getting cut. Talking about the UFC Rio card, the UFC's released an updated poster after the withdrawal of Rafael Fiziev. We also have an update on Jean Silva, who teased a December return against Yair Rodriguez on social media. In response, Giga Chikadze threw his name in the mix. Hey Jean, I see you calling out Yair for December. Respect that hustle, but you and I both got something to prove after our last fights. You were number 10 and I was number 12, and we both took L's. Let's give the fans a real show and settle it in December. I'm ready if you are. Let's make it happen. We also nearly had a big announcement from Dana White, who teased something big with a post on his Instagram story, writing, "I have a feeling today is going to be an incredible day," alongside a picture of himself smoking a cigar. Moments later, Dana then backtracked, posting, "I jumped the gun. Today is going to be a regular day." As Damon Martin theorized, my guess was the Zuffa boxing broadcast rights deal, which I expect to happen any day now. In other news, Khamzat Chimaev is back in the gym training again. However, so far, no word on when his next fight will be. Meanwhile, Jack Della Maddalena was seen in the gym with Tai Tuivasa as the heavyweight looks to make a return, and JDM looks to defend his title against Islam Makhachev. And last but not least, Olympian Gable Stevenson has been booked for a Dirty Boxing main event against Billy Swanson for October 30th. Jon Jones announced the news via social media. The main event for Dirty Boxing is set for October 30th in Nashville. I can't wait to see everybody there. He also predicted that Stevenson will win the fight before hailing him as a future UFC champion. Stevenson, he's a phenom. It's not a matter of if he can, it's a matter of when. I've had many great teammates over the years, but I've always said if I would ever be a coach, it would have to be a wrestler who is completely committed to success. I found my guy, and I'm excited to add World Championship coach to my resume. Although he's only 1-0 right now, considering his wrestling background, maybe we'll see Stevenson in the UFC next year. Merab reveals why he hated Petr Yan. While Merab has been involved in a bit of a feud with Umar Nurmagomedov over the past few years, during a recent appearance on Daniel Cormier's YouTube channel, the champ explained that the one fighter he really hated was Petr Yan. In addition to geopolitical differences, Divashvili explained to DC that long before he made it to the UFC, Yan mean-mugged him and Aljamain Sterling for no reason, leaving a bad taste in his mouth.
Yan was in UFC winning some fights, and then I think we was in Arizona or somewhere, and then I saw him in a hotel, and I don't think he even knows me, but I was with Aljo, and I look him other side, and he looking at us like a bully, you know?
Really?
To kill us. I'm like, bro, who are you? What do you want? Like,
yeah.
And then after he was doing very well, and then he's Russian, right? And then, you know, it's a politics. Russia has occupied my countries of 20% of territory. So Russia has occupied my country's 20% of territory, and then so it's personal for me.
Considering Yan's ranked number 3 at 135 and is in the middle of a 3-fight win streak, we may get to see the two run things back if the champ gets through Corey Sandhagen. Carlos Ulberg sends a warning to Dominick Reyes. This weekend, Carlos Ulberg and Dominick Reyes will throw down in the main event of the UFC Fight Night Perth card. With Ulberg looking to cement his claim to a title shot and Reyes looking to catapult himself up the light heavyweight rankings, the stakes couldn't be higher for either fighter. During a recent interview with MMA Junkie this week, Ulberg fired off a warning to his opponent, making it clear that although there's mutual respect, nothing will stop him from getting a win. It's a big opportunity for me. I'll take it with both arms, grab it, and make a big thing of it. Come Saturday night, I'll show the world. He's done himself very well to get himself where he is. I do pay my respects to him. Respect is given where it's due. Going in there, that's all I have for him, is the respect. Hopefully, after the fight, we get to share a beer or something. I'm technical, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty, I know that I have heart within me. If it comes down to the 5-rounders, and we have to throw some leather, and there's a lot of blood and missing teeth, then so be it. We'll have to make the With the Ankalaev vs Pereira 2 fight right around the corner, the next title fight at 205 will likely go to whichever fighter has the most impressive performance in the Ulberg-Reyes fight, and the Prohaska-Roundtree fight set for UFC 320. While we're on the topic of Dominick Reyes vs Carlos Ulberg, according to 7 News Australia, they reported that this week's UFC card is performing terribly in terms of ticket sales.
The WA government's financial investment in cage fighting is in question tonight, with poor ticket sales to a UFC event this weekend. UFC Fight Night is being staged at RAC Arena, but the venue is only about half full and tickets are now being discounted.
Ultimate Fighting Championship is back in town. A decent turnout for a welcome to country ahead of Sunday's event. The response to UFC's return visit to Perth this year has been disappointing, not the sellout of previous years.
How do you think the UFC can fix this situation? Is it the ticket prices being too high? Or is it the quality of fight cards that make people not want to go? Let us know what you're thinking in the comments. Mark Shapiro reveals the truth on UFC picking locations. Dana White's been clear that the UFC wants to hit the road and host more live events in front of fans. While Dana has pointed out that there are tons of places that the UFC has never been to or hasn't been to in years, TKO president Mark Shapiro recently explained during the Goldman Sachs Communicopia and Technology Conference that the UFC doesn't just pick locations to visit, they sell them. We still have 30 fight nights to sell for UFC, and they can be smaller, but if we've got a St. Louis up against a Des Moines, Iowa, if you want us back there, you've sold out and broken records in both your arenas, you have to pay for us to come back, or else we'll take it to another town. That goes for NXT and Raw and SmackDown on the WWE side. As Shapiro went on to explain, the UFC isn't just selling events to cities in America, they're selling events all around the world, like in Saudi Arabia, where the UFC was paid a reported $20 million to host an event in 2024. Conor McGregor demands $100 million for UFC White House fight. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been reporting Conor McGregor being interested and motivated to fight on the UFC White House card. We've even gotten Dana White to come out and say that Conor will most likely be on the card and fighting Michael Chandler. Well, this morning, Conor McGregor made an interesting demand on social media. Conor wants $100 million and 100, quote, golden visas for his family. He tweeted this: $100 million to fight at the White House, along with 100 US golden visas for myself and family and friends. I look very forward to entertaining the fight world once again. A pleasure I never take for granted. Then he even went on to tease his return by tweeting, I have so much aggression built up that I must release. I will throw harder and more venomous than I have ever thrown before. I've been punching way incredibly harder in my most recent preparative efforts, and I delight in the thought of doing it live again. My shots whistle through the air like rockets. It's why and how I hold every fiscal record in the entire book of fighting. See you soon, kids. Following that, Conor then teased fans even more by releasing training footage where he can be seen hitting the pads. Do you think the UFC is willing to meet Conor on his demands? Let us know in the comments below.